happens inside a biker club stays inside. Behind the roar of engines and the image of freedom is a world built on strict rules and hidden ranks that most people never see. If you break just one rule, you could be kicked out, losing your bike and your vest. Most importantly, these rules aren't just for show. They help maintain control and loyalty. From the way they park to how they dominate territory. These are the 11 biker secrets you were never supposed to know. Secret number 1, the strict hierarchy. Outlaw biker clubs aren't just wild gangs riding in packs. Behind the noise and leather is a strict, military-style chain of command. At the very top sits the president. He makes the calls. No one outranks him. Right below is the vice president, who steps in when the president's not around. Then there's the sergeant-at-arms, part enforcer, part watchdog. If someone breaks a rule, he's the one who handles it, and that doesn't always mean a warning. The road captain leads the club on the road. He decides when they ride, where they go, and how they move. Every formation, every stop, it's his call. Break the chain of command? You can lose your patches, your bike, your status, and if you've crossed the line too far, you might just disappear altogether. Secret number 2, patch versus color. That biker vest, you see? It's not just for show, and calling it a patch might be the last mistake you make in that bar. Imagine this. You're trying to make conversation. You nod toward a biker and say, "Nice patch." Suddenly, the mood shifts and everyone goes quiet. Here's what most people don't know. The individual pieces on a biker's vest are called patches, like the club's name or the territory they claim. But when those patches come together, the top rocker, the center patch, and the bottom rocker, that's called their colors, or sometimes their kuta. And it's not just clothing, it's personal. To a member, their colors, the large custom patches sewn onto the back of their vest, are everything. They represent the biker's club name, chapter location, and rank, often surrounded by symbols that tell a story outsiders aren't meant to understand. These aren't just decorations. They're earned through loyalty, time, and often pain. Wearing your colors means you've been accepted, tested, and trusted. It's your identity, your history, and your pride all stitched into one vest. You don't touch it, you don't joke about it, and you definitely don't wear it, unless you're a member or you're looking for serious trouble. Some clubs won't even let photos be taken of their colors. And if someone tries to steal one or wear a fake, that's a challenge. And in the outlaw world, challenges don't go unanswered. So, if you see a vest with a full set of patches, remember this. It's not a fashion choice. It's a warning label. Secret number 3. Show respect to the vest. Vest is sacred in a biker's life. It's called the kuta, and for a club member, it carries more weight than a name. Every piece on that vest has to be earned. These are not bought online, but earned through loyalty, time, and often pain. That's why club members guard their colors like their lives depend on it. There's one rule above all. Never let it touch the ground. If it falls, it's a deep insult to the entire club. There are stories of bikers diving into traffic or running into fires just to grab their vest. Even after a crash, some members check their kuta before checking their wounds. If someone, especially law enforcement or a rival gang, tries to take it, that's war. Some clubs even line their vests with razor blades. So if someone grabs it without permission, they bleed for it. And here's something outsiders often get wrong. Wearing a patch or club vest without earning it isn't cool. It's a huge mistake. It shows disrespect to the process. It can even get you hurt. The same goes for veteran patches. Many bikers served in the military, and those patches show their time, rank, or branch. Disrespecting a veteran patch or wearing one you haven't earned is serious. Bikers don't forget that kind of insult. And here's the last unspoken rule. Don't touch another biker's patches ever. They're not just fabric. They're a record of that rider's journey, brotherhood, and status. Even a casual tap can be seen as crossing the line. The vest doesn't just belong to the man wearing it, it belongs to the club. And when you mess with the vest, You mess with all of them. Secret number 4, you don't cross their territory. In the outlaw biker world, territory is everything, and they don't keep it a secret. Just look at the bottom rocker on a biker's vest. That patch shows the area they claim. It might name a city, a state, or an entire region. Either way, it means one thing: this is our turf. And that's a line in the sand. Riding through someone else's territory while wearing your own club's colors is like showing up to a rival gang's house party uninvited and ready for a fight. You're not just passing through, you're challenging their power, and in this world, such a challenge can cost lives. Turf wars between clubs have been going on for decades. Cities like Montreal, Stockton, and San Antonio have all seen major biker conflicts, all sparked by patch politics and territorial lines. Entire wars like the Quebec Biker War in the 1990s erupted over who controlled the drug trade in key regions. Over 160 people died, including innocent bystanders, all because one group tried to take what another claimed. Even small towns can become battlegrounds if one club thinks another is stepping in. Some clubs have managed to set up neutral zones where no club flies colors, but that's rare. Most of the time, control is marked, monitored, and defended with violence. There have been bar fights, parking lot beatdowns, drive-by shootings, and even full-on highway ambushes, all tied to someone ignoring that bottom rocker and what it stands for. So when you see that patch claiming a state or city, take it seriously. That's not branding. That's a warning. Secret number 5, the dark side, women as property. In the outlaw biker world, freedom is everything, but that freedom isn't always shared, especially not with the women who live inside it. Most outlaw motorcycle clubs, especially the 1% kind, don't allow women to become full members. These clubs are built around brotherhood, loyalty, and control. And in their eyes, that's a man's world. Women might be close to the club, but they're not in it. They're girlfriends, wives, supporters, but never riders in the circle. Many of these women are referred to as old ladies. At first, it sounds harmless, like a nickname. But in reality, it comes with rules. In some clubs, women wear patches that say, property of a member or the club itself. They're about ownership. Once a woman is seen as someone's property, her role is clear and limited. She's expected to stay quiet about club business. She's not supposed to ask questions or get involved in anything private. Her loyalty is first to the man and then to the club. If there's ever a choice between her and the club, she's already lost. Even gossiping with other women in the circle is seen as crossing a line. And if the relationship ends, she's still expected to keep the secrets she was exposed to. In some chapters and some clubs, women are treated with more respect. There are even rare cases where women hold responsibilities behind the scenes. But that's not the norm. In most outlaw circles, power belongs to the men, and the women are expected to follow, not lead. For those who try to step away or speak up, the consequences can be harsh. Stories exist of women who face threats, violence, or worse after crossing the line or trying to leave. Life inside the club isn't just about riding and partying. For many women, it's about silence, loyalty, and survival. Not all motorcycle clubs are like this. Some modern groups treat women as equals, allowing them to ride, vote, and lead. But in the outlaw world, the one built on leather, power, and control, women often exist in the shadows of the patch. And in that world, love can look a lot like ownership. Secret number 6, the veteran connection. There's a reason so many outlaw bikers carry themselves like soldiers, because many of them were. A large number of outlaw motorcycle club members, especially in older and more established chapters, are military veterans. Some fought in Vietnam, others served in Iraq, Afghanistan, or places the public never even hears about. When they came home, they didn't feel at home. Civilian life was too slow, too quiet. The world didn't understand them, but the club did. The club offered a new kind of uniform, a new chain of command, and a new brotherhood. Roles like sergeant-at-arms and road captain aren't for show. They reflect military structure. Rides happen in a tight formation, Hand signals replace commands. Respect for the chain of command is absolute. For many veterans, the club became more than just a familiar structure. It became survival, a place to channel adrenaline, a place to bury trauma, a place where silence was usual and loyalty meant everything. And with that background comes another sacred rule. You always respect veteran patches. These patches display a rider's military history, including branch, unit, tour, or rank. They're earned through blood, service, and sacrifice. Touching one without permission, making jokes, or wearing one if you haven't served. It's a serious offense. Whether someone is in a club or rides solo, one truth stays the same. You never fake a patch, and you never disrespect the ones who've earned them. Secret number 7, no badges allowed. In this world, your past follows you. And if your past includes a badge, a radio, or a desk behind a jailhouse wall, you're never getting in. If there's one rule outlaw biker clubs refuse to break, it's this. No cops ever. It doesn't matter if you're active or retired. If you've ever worn a badge or worked for law enforcement in any capacity, you're out. This rule isn't just about paranoia. It runs deep through the DNA of outlaw motorcycle culture. Clubs like these are built on loyalty, silence, and rebellion. And in that world, law enforcement is the enemy. They're the ones who arrest their brothers, raid their clubhouses, and try to infiltrate their ranks. To let a cop into the circle? That's like handing over the keys to the enemy. Even being suspected of cooperation can be deadly. If a member is thought to be working as an informant, their time is up. Sometimes that means being kicked out. Sometimes it means violence or worse. Once trust is gone, there's no coming back. There are even deeper layers to the rule. If you have a family member in law enforcement, that can raise red flags. If you have worked in security or corrections, that's enough to get you questioned. And if you're caught speaking to officers during an investigation, even if you're not guilty of anything, your loyalty will be tested hard. This divide is so strong that outlaw clubs often have entire protocols for dealing with cops. Some will clear out of a bar the moment a uniform walks in. Others will move meetings, cancel runs, or go dark entirely if they think they're being watched. And when new members are brought in, their background is checked thoroughly because no one wants a badge slipping through the cracks. Secret number 8, the real reasons they park backwards. You've probably seen it. A perfect row of bikes, each one backed in, rear wheel to the curb. It might look like a style choice, but in the biker world, almost nothing is done just for looks. Backing in is a move built on strategy, not show. First, it's about safety. With their bikes facing out, riders can see danger coming and roll out fast if trouble starts. There's no awkward fumbling or turning around, just fire it up and go. In a world where bar fights, ambushes, or sudden run-ins with rivals can happen, seconds count. Second, it's about physics. Most heavyweight motorcycles, especially cruisers and choppers, can weigh 800 pounds or more. On a hill or sloped surface, backing one out is nearly impossible without help. However, parking in reverse allows gravity to work in your favor. It keeps the kickstand stable and makes riding out smooth and fast. But there's a third reason, and it's the quietest one. It's privacy. When bikes are parked backward, license plates are harder to read. That means less attention from law enforcement, less tracking from rival clubs, and fewer nosy onlookers trying to snap photos or take notes. For bikers who live by their own rules, staying untraceable is just as important as staying fast. So next time you see a row of bikes lined up backward, remember, it's not a parking habit. It's a silent layer of protection. Secret number 9, the rolled-up blanket. To the untrained eye, that blanket strapped to the front forks of a bike might just look like gear for the road. A makeshift bed for long rides, a little comfort under the stars. And in part, that's exactly what it is. Riders call it a serape or a bedroll, and it has deep roots in biker and Mexican tradition. Inside that soft roll, you might find a knife, a handgun, or any number of tools a member doesn't want easily seen. It protects the weapon from weather, dust, and road grime, while keeping it close enough to reach in a second. Wrapped in something that looks innocent, it draws no attention from outsiders, but to those who know life, it says one thing: this rider is ready. The blanket also stands for freedom. It's about being self-reliant, prepared, and always able to handle the road or a threat without warning. A place to rest when needed, a shield against the wind, and if necessary, a stash that keeps you alive. So when you see that simple roll tied to a set of handlebars, know this: it's not just fabric, it's function, tradition, and survival all in one. Secret number 10, secret hand signals. When a pack of outlaw bikers flies down the highway at 70 miles an hour, there's no shouting over the engines. Communication happens in silence through a system of hand signals as sharp and organized as any military squad. At first glance, it looks simple. A hand out for a turn, a raised fist to slow down, a tap of the helmet to warn the police ahead. But for those who ride deep in the outlaw world, the signals go much further. Veteran riders use silent cues to guide everything from fuel stops to road hazards, from shifting formation to relaying private club business. One motion might tell a prospect to fall back. Another might allow a high-ranking member to glide forward through the pack. No one speaks. Everyone just moves. These signs are about order, discipline, and respect. It makes sure that the group flows as one smooth, tight, and controlled unit. In public, it looks effortless. Inside the pack, it's pure coordination. Getting a signal wrong can be seen as stepping out of place. So when you see a biker lift a hand mid-ride, it's a message. And in that world, every message matters. Secret number 11. Leaving isn't easy. Joining an outlaw motorcycle club isn't like joining a gym or a weekend group. It's more like making a lifelong promise. And once you're in, getting out is the hard part. You can't just say, "I'm done," and ride away. Members are expected to stay loyal forever. And if you decide to leave or get kicked out, you don't just lose your spot. You lose everything. The first thing they take is your colors, the vest and patches that show you were part of the club. If the club helped you buy your motorcycle, they might take that too. But it doesn't stop there. If you have club tattoos, and most hardcore members do, you'll be forced to cover them up or remove them completely. Some are made to black them out with ink. Others are burned off in painful ways. Leaving in bad standing, which means you broke a rule, betrayed trust, or caused problems, can be even worse. You might get followed or receive threats. A few end up living in fear, always looking over their shoulder. And the emotional toll is real too. Leaving a club means leaving behind your friends, your identity, and the only life you may have known. Even years later, many ex-members say they still feel the weight of it.